Hey again, Mark Holger here. So you're going to do the TOEFL exam. Good for you. Let's have a look at the speaking part of the exam and what the format is for that exam. Since the old days, the number of questions has changed, so that's great for you. There used to be 6, now there's only 4. Let's have a look at them.
Okay, so what can you expect to find in the TOEFL exam? And we're looking at TOEFL speaking. So there are 4 question types. And you'll notice that the first one, personal choice, is just speaking. Then there will be 2 people discussing a change at a university. So you need to listen to them first and then you'll talk about what they said. There's a mini lecture. You do some reading first, listen to the mini lecture, and then discuss it. Finally, there's a longer lecture. Again, you listen and then you discuss it. So what are the times for these different events? This is actually the big challenge for TOEFL. You only have 15 seconds to think and then 45 seconds to answer. The time changes depending on the question. Notice that this one, you have less preparation time at the end for question 4. Something that's very important for you is to do note taking in all of these. From questions 2 to question 4, you need to take some notes, and you can do that when you are listening. So developing your note taking skills is very important. So let's look at personal choice. Here are the different possible questions they might ask you. But most teachers have noticed in 2019 and 2020 that this one is asked 50% of the time. And these 3 are actually the most common. So let's look at a template. This is the great thing about the TOEFL exam, is that you can use a lot of templates. So first we need to say what our opinion is. I think that it would be better to teach children at home. I have 2 reasons for this view. Firstly, teaching the students at home means that you can guarantee they are getting a good education. Secondly, teaching the students at home will mean that they are not affected by bullying at school. You can give examples. In fact, you should give examples. I'm only giving you just a brief outline here of the different question types. Note that you can also provide reasons instead of giving examples. Okay, now something that's important for this, and all of your speaking, in fact, is to have flags. Now, what do I mean by flags? Flags are where you're making it obvious which part of the conversation you are talking about. So here it says, I have 2 reasons. This is a flag. This tells the listener that 2 reasons will be coming soon. This is another flag. This is the first one. This is another flag. This is the second reason. It makes it very easy for the examiner to understand what you are saying and give you a good score. So flags are very important. Okay, so let's look at the campus situation. Here is where you start doing the note taking. So what you want to do on a piece of paper is have 2 sides. You want to have one side for the change and one side for the opinion that the students have about the changes. Normally there are 2 changes, and then you'll learn what the reasons are for the change. Then the students will discuss these reasons. They may agree, they may disagree. They may have different opinions. So what's the template look like? And remember, we need the flags. According to the article, there will be a change to the opening times for the campus. This change is because, and then you give the first reason and the second reason. The students support this change, do not support this change, have differing views. Remember, this is very unusual for the students to have differing views. Usually they agree. To begin with, the man points out that he thinks the change will be a great idea because da 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 da. Furthermore, he argues that da 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 da. So this is a template that you can use for every campus question. Let's now look at the mini lecture. So remember, the mini lecture, you have to do some reading and some listening. So again, note taking is very important. Again, we have the two sides of our sheet. One will be for the term and the concept, and then the other one will be for the examples that the lecturer gives. So the format for this lecture is, first we talk generally about the subject, and then there's some more detailed specific information, and you need to be very careful to note these down. And then there's often two examples. Sometimes there's only one example. So your job is to summarize the concept, talk about the general information and the detailed information. So there's three parts here. Template. The reading is about biology in mice. It states that mice are usually very active at night, and this is the best time for breeding. The professor elaborates on this by providing two examples. To begin with, he explains that, then he goes on to say that, and here is your template. Lastly, we have the long lecture. This one you're only listening and note taking, and this is maybe the hardest one to do, the note taking. You need to listen carefully and listen for the flags that the professor says to help you break down your note taking. Again, we have two sides. There are usually two main ideas, followed by details and examples. Sometimes there's only one main idea, but you can understand you have to listen very carefully and give a lot more information in this example, especially if there's only one main idea. What's the template look like? The lecturer discusses biology in mice and gives two examples. First, he describes the situation where mice are living together in a field outside houses. Secondly, he explains that these examples demonstrate, and that's it, you're done. So remember, personal choice, change at a university, and a mini lecture, and a longer lecture. So why did I separate these? What's the difference between this one and these three? Why is there a difference? Why is there a distinction here? If you said note taking, you're absolutely right. That was your quick introduction to the TOEFL speaking part of the exam. Hopefully now you have a much better idea of what is involved and some of the areas that you need to focus on. So if you thought this video was useful, please share it with your friends, and feel welcome to subscribe to the channel and click the bell, of course, so that you can be the first to know when new videos have arrived. I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Good luck with your studies.